So hi everyone. I'm coming to you today with this hopefully not real long video, but as I realize many of you do not know my story. Of course, we've got lots of stories, but basically I wanted to share my adventure with the health industry and the roller coaster that I've gone on in my life. So, to begin with, I was born in 1960. No, I'm not going to go through 60 years of all my health stuff, but I'm going to hit the highlights. So, I actually was not vaccinated until 1966 before starting school. Now, I was a very healthy child, very typical 1960s kid growing up in the country, eating, fairly decent, healthy diet. And I do remember the introduction of the TV dinners. That's fun in itself. But so in 1966, I was vaccinated with everything that was required to go to school. And so was my younger sister. She was 3 at the time. And both of us took sick and was hospitalized. That first year of school, I had double mumps. I don't remember a whole lot about what was going on, but I do remember my head being filled with what felt like cotton, headache, not being able to hear very well, and being very lethargic. But I continued on to be at standards of a healthy child. Then in 1970, maybe somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe they came out with the rubella vaccine then. And I just remember after hours at school, we all went there, the whole school, all the kids lined up, and they inoculated us. Probably about a month after that, the closest my recollection is I started getting horrible, excruciating pain in my legs, very achy, arthritic-like. I would keep me awake at night. Some nights I would just cry. I'd be so tired and hurt so bad. But the doctor just told my mom it was growing pains. Well, by 1973, my grandmother got some information about alfalfa being helpful. So I started mega dosing, like high doses. I just remember taking 6 or 9 at a time, 3, 4 times a day. And I cannot remember the time frame, but there was a connection, whether it be just a week or a month, but there was a connection and it was very beneficial. And by the time I was probably 16 or so, it was going away, and I only used alfalfa if there was flare-ups that happened after that, but pretty much went away. And then in what was it, let me check my notes because I wanted to stay on track. Yeah, okay, so then in probably 1976, 77, somewhere in there, the health food stores started popping up, and I was first in line. Somehow, somewhere, I got the information that if you ate healthy, supplemented well, and what did we know then? Vitamins and minerals, but that in my mind, then it would counteract how hard I played. I played really, really hard. I was very active and pretty crazy in my younger days, and so that was my balance. I would try to eat right, simple foods, whole foods, and supplement, and so then that's really where it all started for me in awareness on health and stuff. But in 1984 then was when I had my first child. I was very hesitant from my past experience with vaccines to vaccinating, but I did have them do half doses and more often, so he wasn't like hit really hard at one time, but I still didn't feel right about that. And then by 1986 is when he actually got, what was it? Psoriasis, not psoriasis, eczema. And his feet were cracking and splitting, and there was mild bleeding, and my medical doctor, now if you can believe this, but my medical doctor actually recommended me to go see a naturopath. She actually said what she was able to do to treat the side effects was actually worse than the actual issue itself. And I was all about it, whatever it would take. And so my introduction to more of a holistic lifestyle was from my MD. Now, this was also a child who had earaches every winter. We did the amoxicillin once a year till he was 3 years old. And at 3, I was done. The doctor, the MD, his pediatrician, actually accused me of not giving him his medication because it wasn't clearing it up. What we've now discovered is that amoxicillin is not beneficial for him at all. He does not respond to it. But the naturopath actually treated him one time for his ear infections, and then he, I think, only had like maybe 2 bouts again his whole life, one actually being as an adult. So that started my adventure at not only wanting to eat healthier, organic, whole food, but also to change my medical health care, and that made that shift. So then it was, oh gosh, let me double check my notes. I want to get my dates right here. Oh yeah, in 1991, I was in a very bad car accident. And I always say it took 7 doctors in 7 years to bring any normalcy back into my life. I won't go into all the details here because that's a whole video in itself. But basically the MD, which had to be involved for the insurance purposes, just wanted to stack prescription meds on me. So luckily I was using a variety of different healthcare professions to pull it all together to help me. But I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia, just had to live with it. I was had panic attacks and the chronic fatigue. A few years later, I was diagnosed with Epstein-Barr virus. I was tested and my adrenals were on a scale from 0 being failure to 10. I was at a 1. So I was almost hospitalized with adrenal failure. There just didn't seem to be any way out except I just thought about suicide. I just really, really wanted to end it. The chronic fatigue, the insomnia, the pain all through my body. I could never heal from just even a simple cold. It was just layers upon layers. And this is in my 30s. And medically, the doctors just kept telling me I just had to live with it. And they could give me prescriptions to manage it, whatever. And I wouldn't do it. I kept seeking out and finding just some amazing holistic, medically trained people that I worked very closely with that was helping to stabilize me and turn things around. But by 1999, we moved to an area and I met the local witch doctor. And I jokingly say that because that's pretty much what they called her at the time. But I was seeking out who is in the small town area your medical profession that's holistic here. And through her testing, I had heavy metals. My blood wasn't being oxygenated well enough. And it was just, oh my gosh, a constant, just stacking of supplements and different things and all this regiment in my diet and biofeedback. But it was really turning things around and bring my health back around. And then I think it was in like 2008, I had self-diagnosing, and with the holistic care provider I was working with, uh, I had all the symptoms of having lymphoma. And so I went in and was tested, and sure enough, I had a thyroid issue. The doctor didn't feel that I was overweight at the time, even though I was considerably heavier than my normal underweight, adult natural weight was. And he did clarify that I did not have any cancer, but that he wanted to put me on a prescription med to slow my thyroid down. He figured I had hyperthyroidism, when in reality it was hypothyroidism. And luckily I didn't do those prescriptions either. I just, went back and with guidance of, just being knowledgeable and other support, I got onto supplemental supporting to support my thyroid so I could avoid the prescription meds. But through the years, I look at the different things that went on and thought, by now, in my 60s, I could very easily be on 4 plus, maybe even 7 or more prescription meds, because every time I touch base with medical profession, they just wanted to prescribe a pill that I just would take, and they have people who manage their lives very well with that those meds going on, and I'm very much against them, because I do know that they are petroleum based. I do know that this contributes to the toxins in your system, and I do know I spent years trying to clean out and give my body what it needs, because I do know that our bodies, biblically created, whatever you want to think, they are designed to heal themselves if they're given the proper tools to do so. So it's been a lifetime, feels like, of seeking out and providing what the body needs so that it can actually heal itself. So I am now in my 60s. That's a tough one to really acknowledge for me. I don't feel like it, but there are times when my body actually reminds me that I am. Like last May, I tried to do a cartwheel and crashed and really boogered up my shoulder. So I've been working with a chiropractor who's also a sports therapist. Amazing, just really helping a lot, but I've also added in a couple other layers of things to help. And so now this week, I just feel just a tremendous amount of healing going on, and I'm super, super excited about that. And, I'm always seeking out and open to researching different things that our body needs. And being in the healthcare industry for so many years now, and many of you know that I've made kind of a career about that. I've always had a very compassionate heart, always wanting to help others, providing for others. Many of you know we've always had open door policy. We've brought people into our home to help in need, and that's just the heart that I have. And so it made total sense that whatever I could learn from myself, I was willing to share with others that are, open to that and want that guidance too, to see if anything, would be beneficial for them. So most of you just think that I'm just lucky, that it's genetics. And when I look back on it, I don't think it is. In fact, I know it's not. I've invested a lot of time researching and going after information and doing different things to support my body so it can actually heal itself. And one that I've totally mind blown about, because I added a combination of a CBD fluid and some enzymes, and about, I don't know, it was quite a few months into it, like maybe 6 months or so. I was noticing a shift in a lot of different areas in my life and in my health because of that. But I had 40-year nerve damage in 2 of my fingers that actually at 19, working in a deli, I nearly cut them off. The doctors were able to surgically kind of put everything back together, but the nerves were so damaged that I did not have feeling. My sides of my fingers were numb, but they functioned and they worked fine, and you go about your way, in life. And it was after 40 years that one day I realized there was feeling, okay? And it's still there. And I got itchy nose, sorry about that. That was probably 40, after 40 years, probably 4 years ago, or maybe even longer now. I don't keep track very well of things, but I have feeling in my fingers. I never sought it out. I just accepted it as it was, and I'm just mind blown still today over that. The swelling and pain in the joints. I've cured myself of that. There's just multiple things that have gone on that's attacked my body that I know that I have been given or research out and fuel my body with what it needs to be able to heal itself. And that's the thing, is we keep thinking, oh, do these things cure me? Do these things, fix these things? Well, the way I feel is that when you give it to your body and you put it into your body, then your body takes it and knows how to use it to be able to heal ourselves properly. So I just wanted to put that out there because I realized and I learned that so many people in my life, they don't know that about me. Anyway, love you all. Have a great day. And if you want to hear more about my story, if you want to pick my brain about an issue for you or somebody else, feel free. You can call me. I'll just give it to you. I don't make judgment. You do with it what you want. And I love you all. Have a great day.